Maddie, and today I'm at a bowling alley. Have you ever been bowling? It's fun, isn't it? First, you get some special shoes. Bowling balls can be different weights. Some are light, some are really heavy, but this one is just right for me. The strip that you bowl the ball down is called the lane. And the aim of the game is to knock over as many pins as possible with the ball. And these bits are the bumpers. They'll stop the bowling ball going down into the gutter here on the side. And now for the fun bit, trying to knock the pins down at the end of the bowling alley. Here goes. Yes! But how do I get my ball back, and how do the pins get tidied so that I can have another go? Do you know how a bowling alley works? Let's find out. How does it work?
Bowling alley!
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pins. Can you see what shape the pins make? It's got 3 sides. That's right, it's a triangle. They're arranged in a triangle shape so that if the ball hits the front pin just right, there's more chance of them hitting one another and them all getting knocked down in one go. And if that happens, we call it a strike, like this. Most bowling alleys have the same parts. This is a ball return. It's where you pick up your ball ready to bowl, and it's where it comes back to after you've had your turn. Did you hear the sound of them all crashing down? But wait, a machine has picked up some of the pins and swept the others away, and the ball is back where it started. To see how all this happened, I think we need to take a closer look. When we roll the ball, it travels down the alley. Just before the ball hits the pins, it breaks a beam of invisible light. A message goes to a sensor and up to a computer, which controls a long bar called the rake to tell it to come down. At the same time, the pins that are still standing are picked up out of the way by a machine called the top deck. The rake sweeps the ball and the knocked over pins to the back of the pit area. The sensors count how many pins have been knocked down. The sensor sends another message to the computer to tell us the score on the scoreboard. At the back of the pit area, a lift carries the knocked over pins up to the top of the machine. The standing pins are then put back in place, ready for the bowler's next go. Whilst the pins are being reset, the ball rolls down the tunnel underneath the floor of the lane and goes back to the ball return. Big rollers push the ball back up, ready for the bowler's next go. That was really clever, wasn't it? But I think we should see the machines in action for ourselves. Now, you should never go down to the pit area of a bowling alley, but this is Ken. He works on the machines here and has given me special permission to show you how everything works. This is exciting, isn't it? This is the back of the lane that we're using, and down there is where the pins are scooped onto the lift. But the machinery is all inside these cages to keep everything safe. So I bought my special camera on a long stick so we can put it over the top and see the pins moving. Look, can you see the pins coming up the lift one at a time? And on the top we can see the pins being sorted, ready to go back again for another go. And there they go. But how does the ball get back to the ball return so that we can have another go? Come down here. Someone's using this lane now. And look, after a ball has been bowled, it's sorted to the side and it goes down that little tunnel. What do you think happens to it next? Ken's taken the lane apart so we can see for ourselves. Did you see that? It happened really fast. The ball travelled all the way down the tunnel back to the ramp. The rollers grip the ball and move it to the back, to the front and to the back again in a wiggly shape. Just like that. And now the ball and the pins are ready for another go. I loved seeing how a bowling alley works. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember what the part is called that sweeps the pins away? That's right, it's called the rake. Did you hear the sound as the ball crashes into the pins? And did you see the pins go up the lift, ready to be put back on the lane? I love bowling. It's a really fun thing to do with family and friends or as a birthday party treat. What else is fun at birthday parties? I like party hats and candles on a cake. And I really love surprises, like wrapped presents. What's this? It's a ribbon that's been tied into a bow. But do you know how ribbon is made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Ribbon.
Ribbon is made here in a ribbon factory. Every year this factory makes 50 million metres of ribbon. That's enough to tie around the whole world and have a big bow on top. And they make loads of different colours. Like green ribbon, stripy ribbon, and even ribbon with stars on it. But today they're making a type of check pattern like this. It's called tartan. Let's see how it's made. To make ribbon, we start with this, a type of yarn called polyester. And this one is made from recycled plastic bottles. This yarn is very thin and it's been wound neatly onto one of these, called a tube. So to make a piece of ribbon as wide as this, lots and lots of threads of yarn have to be woven together. But it's so thin, it's quite tricky to see. I've got my special microscope camera with me and it lets me see really small things much bigger. You ready? Oh, there you go. Just look at that pattern and all of those colours. Can you see the threads of yarn that go from the top to the bottom? Well, they're called the warps of yarn. And then, can you see the threads that go across from side to side, from left to right? Well, those are called the wefts. Those warps and wefts weave together to make the ribbon nice and strong. But how is it made? First, 95 tubes of yarn are put onto this. It's called a warping machine. And the area with all of the tubes of yarn on it is called the creel. Just look at all of those different colours. Steve loads the tubes onto the creel in a special pattern. And that pattern will make the tartan design. When the machine is turned on, the yarn is pulled off the tubes and it's fed through the creel, all the way over here. It travels over a roller and goes through this metal part called the reeds. It stops the yarn getting tangled, a little bit like a hair comb, and then finally it's wound onto the beam. And look, we've got all of the right colours, but it's stripy. That's not a tartan design, is it? The beam has been taken off the warping machine and has now been placed on the weaving machine. It's the weaving machine's job to weave the wefts. Those are the yarns that go across from side to side through the warps, the yarns that go up and down. The warp yarns are reeled off the beam and the weft yarns are pulled off these tubes down here. And this is where they meet to be woven together. And something called the front reed is pushing it together to make sure that weave is nice and tight. But it's really noisy, isn't it? What does it sound like? It's a little bit like a helicopter. But it's noisy because it's working so fast. It's quite difficult to see. I set up my super slow motion camera so that we can see the needle weave the weft over or under the warps. You see how it looks? Look, can you see the warp yarns? There are 2 layers of them, top and bottom. This means the weft yarns can be woven through them easily. The warp yarns then swap places. The top ones go to the bottom and the bottom ones to the top. And the weft yarns go back again, making the pattern. And can you see the front reed pushing it all together? It all happens 16 times every single second. So even in slow motion, it's still quite fast. That is incredible, isn't it? And this machine will make tartan ribbon at this speed for 30 days before it changes its design. And in this factory, there are 136 weaving machines. That's a lot of ribbon. Next, the ribbon is put through a finishing machine. The ribbon is rolled over these drums called hot tins. I can really feel the heat. They press the ribbon to make sure it's nice and flat. It's a little bit like ironing your clothes at home with a steam iron. Once it's all been nicely pressed, it goes on a journey to the makeup room. Let's follow it using my special camera. Bye! Oh wow, look at it go! There you are! Lastly, the ribbon is fed onto a reeling machine, which winds the ribbon onto reels. Before a special pair of scissors snip off the end. And there you have it, a finished reel of tartan ribbon. And the great thing about ribbon is that it can be used again and again. You could even tie it in your hair, like this. I loved seeing how ribbon is made. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the 2 names for the yarn in the ribbon? They go up and down, left and right. That's right, they're called warps and wefts. Did you hear the sound that the weaving machine made? It sounded a bit like a helicopter. And did you see all those different colours of yarn on the creel machine? It was like a rainbow. So the next time you see a present wrapped in ribbon, you'll know how the ribbon was made. And if you go bowling, you know how a bowling alley works. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things